So we're going to start. Number one, what's your story and how did you get to where you are today?
My story began in Puerto La Cruz, Venezuela. My mom and dad were missionaries down there for 8 years. I was only 2 when we came back, but my dad also later was a pastor of a small church. His whole career was teaching, so education's been very much a part of my everything since I've ever known anything. So that's a large part of my story. I met my wife teaching in a bilingual academy in Honduras, and our first daughter of 6 was born down there, our only daughter born in Honduras. A large part of my life has been, or career has been, related to education. I've done a whole variety of things besides that, but it brings me to this point in time where I've had a lot of experience using the telephone to make contact with clientele or customers, if you will. So that's brought me to this point in time.
Okay. So what are your career goals and where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. Okay, bluntly, honestly, 5 years from now I see myself with Lumerit. And I believe it's the kind of work that I could do until I simply can't leave the house and work anymore. And for that matter, I also see the value in providing this as an opportunity for people, I assume all the way across the United States, anyone who might need the expertise and the opportunity that Lumerit offers. So I would like to, you might say, I think I could say this, finish my career in this sort of work specifically.
All right, great. So what are you great at, professionally speaking?
It is the same thing that is what is called my spiritual gift, which is encouragement. That is to say, even when I'm speaking to somebody on the phone that I've never met before, quite often I can tell that they were lifted up. They were encouraged in the course of the phone call. And even if the phone call might have been a wrong phone number, or at least from the sense that that's not what they were calling about, I know I can put people at ease. I know that I can communicate with them and help them get unstuck if they're stuck, help them have an answer. I'm the kind of person that thinks not having an answer is not the right answer. Figuring it out or letting them know I could get back to them, or being able to access the people who will help, knowing who in any organization is the one to talk to and get the answer is a large part of that. So just knowing your resources and using them is a strength.
Very good. So what are you not so great at, professionally speaking?
Almost anything that has a strength to it, like communication, has a weakness, and that might be knowing when to stop talking. There's the old saying about we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Asking very good questions is, yes, a strength, but remembering to ask good questions and then listen for the answer. So a weakness would be going directly to an answer, and then if I have something else to say, go to that after giving the direct answer. Learning to be more direct. You got it. Thank you.
Very good. So, what intrigued you about working for Lumerit Education?
I'm going to ask my visual object lesson, namely our daughter Jennifer, our last born daughter, who happened to put on that shirt this morning anyway, and I said, hey, wear this a little bit later. I want to use you in my video, which is, namely, she has shown quite the interest in anything outer space. Giving a quick example, last Tuesday started a weekly series on 1969 when we put somebody on the moon. And I didn't quite realize how interested she was. She sat here the whole time watching, the whole
with us.
NASA sending a rocket into space, and so we've been talking about that a little bit. And what I like about everything I've studied about Lumerit is that it's just close to limitless. That is, if a person has an interest in something, they don't have to say go onto a college campus somewhere and just hope for the best. The online resource of Lumerit is amazing, I might add. I like to call it, if it's user-friendly to me, that's saying a great deal, because I recognize that I could well be a beneficiary of Lumerit with my children, including Jennifer, who's 14. We have a 17-year-old, a 19-year-old, a 21-year-old maybe even that could benefit from it, a 23-year-old, as well as even possibly my wife, if she ever wanted to pursue a second type of a BA or BS as the children leave the house, or a master's. Exactly, yeah. So I just like that with Lumerit, there are so many opportunities, and you might say I have a vested interest in getting hired by Lumerit, or pointing my own daughters toward what Lumerit offers.
Very good. So one last question.
Thank you.
What leads you to believe that you would be a good fit for this role?
Okay. See, I'm practicing listening or thinking. I know that it could be said of me that I've never met a stranger by the phone. I've had my own family say to me before, or say a coworker, "Oh, do you know that person?" No, I don't have to know them to talk like I know them. And so, number one, how I present, or how I am communicating on the phone. And we have jokingly say in our family, I'm the girl. I love to talk on the phone. That's so weird. But I think the ability to set somebody at ease, to use my spiritual gift of encouragement in a phone call, or I know that there's an element of coaching, there's an element of motivational speaker, there's a strong element of direct and redirect, and setting goals and helping them both identify those goals and how to get there. And so that is my answer to that.
Very good. All right. That will conclude the interview.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.